Hey, what's going on out the YouTube family? This is Samuel Legge here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another Lovecraft Country Episode 6, Meet Me in Daegu. Now, this takes place in, was it 1959? I believe? No, I'm sorry. 1949 is where it starts off, and then it ends around 1950. But during this time, Atticus is in the war. And you get to see, what kind of a person he was in the war. You get to understand where he was utilizing and fueling a lot of the anger and the things he had been up to just follow orders to kill, and it brings him through some very interesting circumstances. But the funny thing about this episode, and I'm going to be doing a spoiler review discussion about it with my man Lucas. One of the things that Lucas has said to me after I watched this episode is that this is completely divergent from what the book, the Lovecraft Country book, did. It wasn't in any way, shape, or form anything, and he doesn't like that part of the narrative. I actually liked this episode because this is the thing. Jamie Chung, I've been actually following her from a grip, and like the show, it's to a fault. Every single episode is its own anthology. Every single episode is completely different. This is basically like a succubus kind of situation. If you know what that is, you understand. But Jamie Bell, in the very opening of it, she's this girl, she's kind of looking at somebody off to a distance, kind of in love, and she just wanted to kind of dance and reenact in her head, like, the feeling of euphoria of what a movie gives you, which is this out-of-body experience and just kind of getting immersed and enamored to it. And just like kind of Atticus is when it comes to books. And they actually do a really good job of breaking it down as different dissections of Atticus in his, his personality and his personality coming out. But we'll get to that in a second. I'm trying to get through this as clear, as concise, as fast as I can. But it kind of proceeds with her kind of going and wanting to go getting a little date and, get to know people, and like she's got this friend that's kind of like egging her on, telling her like don't sit there and conform to what other people believe. And one of the biggest things that's happening right now in this time in history, like communists are looked at as not just outcasts, but they are outlawed, they are killed, they are beheaded, whatever it is, like they know. And any kind of association by that, or any kind of person that has an indifference or has this opinion about what they should be, is no bueno. And you find out very quickly when Jamie Chung's character kind of brings somebody home that she is not normal at all. And matter of fact, it's one of the most goriest things I think I've seen. And anybody that is a Japanese animation or, Japanese animation buff will catch on pretty quick what they're going for. And it is violent. It is disgusting. It is one of the most sickening things I think I've seen in a long time. And it just went for it. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Now, this is the thing that makes this so compelling. The whole concept is the mom put her through this to be this thing from a catalyst of something that the girl's own father did to her in their own home. And like it in doing that, it kind of forced her to be this monster. It forced her to be this thing. But yet you can tell under her skin, like she really does want to strive to know people, to care about people, to love people, but she's not herself. And like she shows it in spades. I think that Jamie Chung, in her acting in this one, she gives a delivery with her performance in this that I was like, yo, she killed it. Like she really did. She nailed the performance. And in doing that, there was a moment that happened, and this is her first encounter with Atticus. When they first meet, it is under terrible circumstances. And matter of fact, I was like, yo, she about to catch it. And later on down the line, like, she meets back up with him, and like she has this animosity against him, and she just is like, you know what? This is it. I'm done with this. I don't want to give the whole surrounding part about what she is or all that. I think you should watch the episode for yourself, and I don't want to spoil for anybody that kind of just wants to kind of get a little hint about anything. But let's just say she's on the crossroads of where she needs to be. And she knows her next victim, and she wants it to be Atticus, but she starts to unravel the different layers to Atticus. And one of the things I love about this is that your boy Jonathan Mayers, he gives you different layers of Atticus that even when he's with Jurnee Smollett's levity, he doesn't even show her all those different sides. Like, you get to understand why he's reading Count of Monte Cristo. You get to understand why he is certain ways he is when it comes to emotion. You get to understand why he is, like, physically, you know, indifferent to certain things and understanding different things and his anxieties of different things. It's like, it's not just war that's messed him up, but it's different circumstances. And this relationship, this friendship, whatever they end up having, also is a byproduct of who he's going to be later on, which is crazy because of her ability and her curse that she has. And again, I know this isn't a part of the story. I know this isn't a part of the book or any way, shape, or form, but I personally, I really dug it, bro. I think that there was a moment. The only issue that I do have is with the pacing. The pacing in this episode, like, it felt like they kept on like, okay, you hit this stanza, time mark. Hit this stanza, time mark. And the editing, the way they edited it and the way they paced it, it made it seem like this was way longer than it needed to be. Like, if you weren't really invested in Jamie Chung's performance or her story or didn't care anything about it, I think that you would probably get put off. It hooked me. I was cool. But if you weren't, like, that would have been off-putting for anybody to sit there and, you know, like, daggone, this is long. Like, can we get to the end? Like, what has this got to do with the last episode? Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this had no correlation at all other than the conversation that he had with her and calling her. You know what I'm saying? And it makes all the sense why he's been calling her. It makes all the sense why he's had dreams about her, very first opening shot. And I just have, bruh, like, the way that joint ends, the ending, the very last, 5 to 10 minutes, it's its own revolving mystery. And to be quite honest with you, they could make this its own spinoff, but I was just like, what does that even mean? And even when some of the things that she saw in her visions of certain things with Atticus is yet to happen yet. So I have no idea. I am intrigued. I really enjoyed this episode. I would say this episode probably should have been the very first episode. To be quite honest with you, I think that, well, I don't know, or maybe I don't know. How would they have even done that? I don't know. This episode makes me feel like they should have kept it linear as opposed to chopping around the different corners with different characters. And then again, the way that this whole season is even told is told like an anthology for every episode, not the season. Like, nothing is connective tissue. The last episode, the big pivotal moment about the last episode is the revelation about Ruby and, you know, what she became and who William and Christina is and all that. This had nothing to do with that. This had nothing to do with the rest of the story. So I get what people's indiscrepancies would be with this, but I'm gonna tell you, as a person that, like, bro, like, this joint was crazy, bro. I really did enjoy this. It's gonna be a really good discussion between me and Lucas, kind of breaking this down. So if you want to hear a really dope conversation, definitely go and check out our full spoiler review of this episode, and we'll break it down in complete detail. I'll talk to you guys later on. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. You have a blessed one. Peace, guys.